Don't you love it when things start going your way? Like you say that you're going to do something, you do it, you get the results as you expected, or sometimes it just works out better. Or you go to do a thing and the exact things or person who you need to meet just happens to be the person that you talk to that day, right? Wouldn't like, doesn't that feel amazing? And when that happens to you, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like ecstatic, like, yes, like this is how it's supposed to be? Or do you kind of feel a bit like ambivalent about it, right? Like, I don't know, like, is this actually happening? Like, is this going to last? What if something goes wrong? You know, that old pattern of sabotage just comes out to play, right? And it's really interesting to think about this because for more than a year, right? For more than a year, more than I like not, I did not want to admit to this to myself at the very beginning, but for most of the year last year, I was in survival mode, right? I was in survival mode. It made sense to be in survival mode given the circumstances and the challenges that I was experiencing a year ago. But now that things are shifting and things are actually starting to settle, to resolve, I've healed so much and things are actually starting to go my way, there was that thought of, oh my God, like, is this going to last? Right? Is this going to last? Am I going to be able to replicate this? And what's really interesting is that when you are someone who's going through challenging time, there is going to be times, weeks, or even months where you are in survival mode, right? And in that mode, all you're doing is to make sure that you are doing the best you can to go through the things that you need to go through. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's great to have that skill. I'm sure you've had, you know, how you've looked back on an experience that you've had in the past and you go, I don't know how I survived. I don't know how I made it through that difficult time. I'm glad I did though. But isn't that a wonderful skill to have as humans, to be able to be in that survival mode to just get you through? But now that you're feeling better, now that things are starting to go your way, there's that tiny little like fine line, right? When you're like, yes, this is super exciting, but at the same time, I could easily just remain complacent or worse, try to regress, right? Because that survival mode became a familiar task, right? And when you thrive after a challenging time, or even while you're still experiencing a challenging time, may seem like an oxymoron, but is it? But is it, right? Because what if you can actually do both? What if you can thrive and grow and flourish and at the same time have the most challenging things that are happening in your life? You know, for example, I work with women who have just left unhappy, even toxic relationships, right? And the goal is for them to start thriving after they've gone through that whole process, even though, you know, it could be a detrimental part time in their life. They are able to switch that around because they are so committed to growth. They value growth more than they value staying the same or remaining complacent, because they have so much love and talent to offer to the world that they know that it is their opportunity and it is their purpose in life to actually learn how to thrive during this challenging times because they want to make the impact, right? And when you're in that moment in time where you can kind of be like, okay, so I don't think I'm in survival mode anymore. I am feeling better about myself. I'm starting to trust myself more. But they just want to make sure that they remain on that path, that they don't go back to being in survival mode. They don't have to sabotage all the work and healing that they've done so that they can actually start being successful with themselves, right? Now that all the shit that they've gone through is starting to resolve. Not 100% resolve, because I mean, does it ever? But at least resolved enough for them to start really doing what they want when they want in their own terms, which is such a fulfilling thing. And it's really interesting when you're in the state of excitement, just that other part of your brain, that survival part of your brain goes, but like, is it really going to stay that way? Are you really going to thrive? Do you even deserve to thrive? Those thoughts. Because for a long time, survival was the homeostasis. And so what I truly help my clients with is to help happiness, joy, fulfillment, independence, flourishing, thriving, ease. I help them to reprogram their mind into thinking, and their bodies into thinking and feeling that the happiness, ease, fulfillment is something that is familiar to them now, because our minds and our bodies always it's always going to want to bring us back to homeostasis, right? And if we've gone for months being in survival mode, that becomes the new homeostasis. So now we have to like flip the switch, right? It's kind of just like flipping that switch, flipping that breaker, rewiring that circuitry to let your mind know that no, the new pattern now, the new homeostasis gets to be thriving, gets to be flourishing, gets to be prosperity, gets to be happiness, ease, and fulfillment, gets to be, I actually get what I want now because that's who I'm supposed to be. That's who I deserve to be. That's what I'm worth of receiving. And so, recently, like I just had this aha moment where for me, it was like that, right? Like for me, I was stuck in survival mode, and now I'm like, everything is going exactly as I wanted, right? And then there's that part that wants to pull me back, that old self, that old identity, trying to pull me back, the one that is so used to playing small. And now that I'm playing big and really speaking my truth and owning my voice, and getting better at it, still not where I wanted to be, but getting better at it, that old self tries to pull me back and sabotage me, right? And now it's all about making happiness, ease, and fulfillment my homeostasis, really just allowing myself to feel happy. Like, I mean, today I had really hateful comments in one of my videos, and I didn't make it mean anything about me, right? That is just a mind-blowing thing, because it really would have really upset me in the past. But seeing those comments, I kind of thought they were funny. I thought those hateful comments were funny. And, that's part of being an entrepreneur, right? You're not going to please anyone. And it really, noticing that those old patterns are also shifting, the whole people pleasing thing and the codependency thing of wanting to help everyone, is starting to dissolve. And I'm noticing that it's such a big shift, and it's so empowering. It's so amazing to be able to take action from this place of, I want to do this. I want to grow. I want to grow my audience to make it bigger, because my message is an important message. And this really comes from prioritizing myself, and being able to make something like ease and fulfillment to be the normal homeostasis, instead of playing small, being complacent, and staying comfortable because I didn't want to upset other people from the people pleasing tendencies, right? And so it's so empowering to have this. And of course, this is my offer to you, right? This is what's possible. It is possible to rewire those old people pleasing and codependent patterns. It is possible for you to thrive even during challenging times, because I'm not going to be the one to promise you that you'll never have any challenges. You will. It's inevitable. Challenges in life are inevitable, right? But what you can change and what you can grow into is someone who is resilient and will still keep going no matter what, and still prioritize herself, even though other people may not like it, set the boundaries, even though people are going to talk shit, and, stay true to your voice, even though it may upset other people. Being able to come from this place, although it may upset you at times, because sometimes it still upsets me at times, you're still able to process and respond in a way that you're not coming from a place of wounded, my ego has been struck, but coming from a place of curiosity. And then it gives you that clarity, right? So if you are someone who wants to thrive during challenging times and want to make this year your best year yet, full of growth, you already feel good, but you just want to feel better, you just want to get there faster, then let us work together, because we can rewire your subconscious and allow you to embody, using somatic practices, this new homeostasis of happiness, fulfillment, and ease without you sabotaging your amazing progress that you've already made. So link will be in the description below. And this will work for you even if you are already doing any wellness, mindset, energetic, or healing practices, because the type of work that we're doing is actually very complementary to those modalities. Because kind of think of this conversational subconscious rewiring pretty much just gives that whatever you're doing now a steroid boost, because like I said, we'll just flip the switch very, very quickly. It can happen very, very quickly, so that you can continue to go on your path of growth, of development, and then know yourself better, and allow yourself to shift the resistance faster, so that the tools that you are using right now are going to work better. They're going to be more amped up, right? And so, like I said, link in the description below to book a call to see if this type of method is going to be good for you. Otherwise, I will see you soon.